When you need to build up your team to handle the growing chaos at work, use Indeed Sponsored Jobs. It gives your job post the boost it needs to be seen and helps reach people with the right skills, certifications, and more. Spend less time searching and more time actually interviewing candidates who check all your boxes. Listeners of this show will get a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. That's Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply. Need a hiring hero? This is a job for Indeed Sponsored Jobs.
Morning decisions. How about a creamy mocha frappuccino drink? Or sweet vanilla? Smooth caramel maybe? Or a white chocolate mocha? Whichever you choose, delicious coffee awaits. Find Starbucks Frappuccino drinks wherever you buy your groceries.
Hello and welcome to I Talk to Ghosts. I'm your haunted host, Jennifer, your resident medium and teller of ghost stories. It may be almost summer, but the chills are still in the air. I have for you ghostly tales of haunted alleyways. And after that, join me at my séance table for a message from the spirits. If you're new to the podcast, as a professional medium, I open the space for a message to come through for someone listening. Linger near and see if tonight's session is for you. But first, stay out of the dark alleyways. I'll bring the ghosts to you right now. I left the bar a little before closing. The place had thinned out. Chairs were flipped onto tables behind me, and the evening's chatter and laughter were replaced by the sound of cleaning up. Outside, the street felt hollow and empty. My car was parked on the other side of the block. If I went the long way, it would take me 5 minutes. If I cut through the alley, it would take me half of that. I stood there for a moment, keys in my hand, weighing my options. The alley ran straight between two brick buildings, barely wide enough for a delivery truck. No streetlights, just a flickering security lamp near the dumpster at the far end. I could see all the way through. No movement, no shadows shifting, empty. I told myself I was being dramatic, so I stepped in. The sound changed immediately. Street noise fell away, replaced by the echo of my own footsteps. The brick walls pressed the air close, offering me a sampling of old smells. Damp cardboard, something metallic. About halfway in, I heard it. A knock, like someone expecting to be answered, except it came from the right-hand wall ahead of me. I stopped walking. The sound came again, 3 slow knocks on brick. My first thought was that someone was on the other side of the wall, a shop maybe, a back room, someone working late. I took a few cautious steps forward, and the knocking stopped. The silence that followed felt heavier than the sound had. My footsteps resumed, slower now, the echo distorted like the alley was stretching the noise thin. I reached the spot where I thought the knocking had come from. The bricks there were old, uneven, their edges worn smooth by time and weather. No doors, no windows, just wall. I stood close enough to see the mortar lines clearly. I told myself it had been pipes, or my imagination trying to entertain itself after a drink. I lifted my hand and placed my palm flat against the brick. It was colder than I expected, and for a moment, nothing happened. Then, something knocked from the other side, huge. The impact landed directly behind my hand. I felt it through my palm, my wrist, my arm, vibration that traveled too fast and too strong to be explained by anything inside that building. I yanked my hand back and stumbled, My heel caught on something and I went down hard against a garbage bin, metal slamming metal, the noise exploding through the alley, and the lid clattered onto the concrete and spun away. For a second, I expected to hear laughter, or footsteps, or another knock. There was nothing. I didn't wait around. I ran. I don't remember my feet hitting the ground, just the sensation of the air tearing past me and the sound of my own breath. I bursted out into the street, nearly colliding with a fellow pedestrian. I didn't stop until I was fumbling with my keys beside my car. I got inside, locked the doors, and sat there shaking, staring at the mouth of the alley. The only thing that spilled from it was shadows. Nothing followed me out. I don't take shortcuts in the dark anymore. I was walking home from a friend's place, cutting through an alley I used hundreds of times before. It wasn't especially dangerous. Narrow, yes. Dim, definitely. But familiar. Brick on both sides, the ground uneven from old repairs. I could see the exit at the other side, a slice of streetlight spilling in to guide my way. Nearly through, I felt it, that prickle between the shoulders, the sensation of being watched, but without direction. I didn't slow down. I told myself what I always told myself. Alleys feel like this. They make you imagine things. I slowly looked behind me, and I noticed an odd shadow. It was on the right-hand wall, stretched long and vertical, darker than the others. At first glance, it looked like it belonged to a pipe or a fire escape, except there wasn't one there, just brick. I kept walking, glancing behind me again. The shadow moved, not fast. It kind of slid, like it was adjusting itself. I stopped. The shadow stopped too. I stood there for a second longer than I should have, my brain scrambling for a reasonable explanation. Passing headlights, shifting light from the street, anything. I took another step. The shadow took a step towards me. Then it peeled itself off the wall. That's the only way I can describe it. One moment it was flat, two-dimensional, clinging to the brick, and the next it had depth, shoulders, a head, legs unfolding as if they were finally allowed to stretch. A man stood in the alley with me. He was made of shadow, but not in the way people imagine, not smoky, not transparent, solid. His edges were too sharp, like light refused to stay on him. And he turned his head. My body locked, every muscle held in place by the same instinct that keeps animals still when they know they've already been seen. I couldn't see eyes, but I knew he was looking at me. And then he stepped back into the wall. Not the same spot, 10 feet closer. Just another dark shape against old brick. I turned, and then I ran. I remember the sensation of air feeling thicker, like the alley didn't want me to leave. I remember not daring to look at the walls because I knew if I did, I might see him step out again, and closer. I reached the end of the alley and burst onto the street, and I didn't stop. I didn't look back. I didn't slow down until I was 2 blocks away. Heart hammering, lungs burning, hands shaking so badly I had to hug them against my ribcage. Eventually, I turned around. The street was empty, but of course, there were shadows. I hurried home as soon as I could, and I slept with the bedroom light on. I had just left a bakery I had visited for the first time. The air outside still smelled like warm bread and sugar, and I had my bag tucked under my arm, paper crinkling softly with each step. Evening was settling in. Streetlights were flickering awake, and I was looking forward to enjoying some fresh bread with dinner. I was about a block away when I saw an alley ahead of me. It cut between two buildings on the left, narrow and shadowed in the waning daylight. I clocked it without thinking much about it, just another space I wouldn't walk through, especially alone, when something darted out of it. A cat. It ran straight towards me, small and quick, fur the color of wet pavement. It skidded to a stop right at my feet and looked up at me like it had been waiting all along. "Hey," I said automatically. The cat meowed. I couldn't help but smile. It felt like one of those harmless, charming moments you don't expect, an animal crossing your path like a small blessing. I crouched down slightly, but before I could reach out, the cat turned and trotted ahead of me. It stopped a few steps away and looked back. "Oh no," I said quietly. "What if it's lost? What if it's hungry?" I kept walking, and the cat stayed just ahead of me, always a few steps in front, pausing every so often to look back as if checking I was still there. The cat reached the entrance of the alleyway and stopped and let out one more meow, softer this time. Then it ran inside. I picked up my pace. The thought of a cat darting into a place like that bothered me more than it should have. I reached the entryway to the alley in seconds and stopped. The alley was empty. The walls were close together, brick darkened by age and grime. There were no boxes, no pipes, no doorways, no place a cat could have slipped behind or climbed into. I stood there, scanning the length of it, searching for movement that never came. I stepped forward inside without thinking, one foot crossing the invisible line where the streetlight ended and the alley's shadow began. The dread hit me all at once. It wasn't fear exactly. There was no image in my mind, no sound, no threat I could name, just a crushing certainty that whatever waited beyond that shadow very much wanted me closer. My chest tightened, my stomach dropped. "Nope," I said out loud. I stepped back into the safety that was the solid sidewalk. The feeling instantly lifted, like pressure released. I turned and walked towards home, my grip tight on my bakery bag, my steps quick but controlled. I didn't want to give anything the satisfaction of chasing me. I told myself what I needed to. Cats are fast, shadows play tricks, the mind fills in the gaps when it's tired. I didn't get too far away before I heard the smallest of meows behind me. I didn't look back.
Hey there, I'm Susie and I'm the host of Beyond the Ferns podcast. Each week, I take you beyond the headlines into the stories that linger long after the news fades. From chilling true crime and unsolved cold cases, to paranormal encounters, cults, and extraordinary survival stories. It's a little bit of everything for everyone. Whether you're drawn to mysteries, fascinated by the strange and unexplained, or simply love a good story, I focus on the truth, the details, and above all, justice for the victims and survivors. So buckle up. Things are about to get a little scary. Follow Beyond the Ferns wherever you get your podcast. Thanks, y'all.
Welcome back to I Talk to Ghosts. Gather around with me in the candlelight. I have a message from the spirits. Accompanying me is the herb chickweed. It's a pretty common herb. You may even have it growing in your yard. It is said to help with matters of love, fidelity, and psychic powers. I'm going to open my mind, clear the space for spirit to come close, for someone listening. there's a woman near who is very much giving off teacher vibes, professor vibes, very knowledgeable, very kind, quirky glasses. This feels like she was a favorite teacher of yours. She would often recommend books to you to read, give you books to read. I'm seeing that she wore floral patterns, very comfortable shoes, very grandmother type. You were really sad when you heard that she passed, and you even went to her funeral and discovered she had a whole nother life, big life, out of the classroom. She was very spiritual, she was active in her church, and in her later years she did have to stop teaching, and that was really hard for her. Her message for you tonight is, first, she says she's okay. She was a really nurturing woman. She really enjoyed your relationship. Her message for you is that it feels like you are going through your own challenges right now, some physical health problems. And she wants to gently remind you, don't let go of things that you normally would be doing this time of year. It doesn't have to be exactly the same. Just don't give up on it completely. Really support yourself. You never know, things can come on really fast, but they can also change and improve very fast as well. And she's also saying the message, don't worry, you won't run out. I hope that makes sense to you. Okay, I'm gonna leave it at that. I hope this message finds you and connects and gives you comfort and encouragement in all that you do going forward. Thank you. And with that, dear listener, we have reached the end of this episode of I Talk to Ghosts. I hope you enjoyed my spirit work this evening and those creepy tales of haunted alleyways. Have you ever had a strange paranormal experience in an alleyway? I think I want to hear about it. Please reach out. In the meantime, wherever you wander off to in this world or the next, just remember, come back and visit with me. Have a lovely evening and good night.
Hey everyone, I'm Erica.
And I'm Elizabeth.
We're sisters, wine lovers, and your hosts for the podcast Spirits Uncorked.
In Season 2, we're leaving the haunted waters of Lake Lanier in Georgia and diving into all new spooky stuff. Shadow people?
I've seen them.
Haunted military bases?
I've served on one.
Local restaurants with ghostly reputations?
I work at one.
Okay, if something spooky doesn't happen to you, I worry about you.
The paranormal is my normal.
Plus, we'll sip and chat with horror authors, fascinating guests, and test out some superstitions along the way.
Knock on wood.
So uncork a bottle and pour a glass of the paranormal with us on Season 2 of Spirits Uncorked.
Get ready for sips, scares, and sisterly sarcasm.
Fear Daily is a podcast that takes you into the shadows of the past, unearthing the 1990s most terrifying tales of monsters, madness, and life after death. Discovered on a forgotten bulletin board server somewhere in Pennsylvania's Rust Belt, these stories are an archive of humanity's strangest encounters with the unknown as told by the people who experienced them. Written by Brennan Storr, creator of the Ghost Story Guys, and hosted by Brandon Schecksnyder of Southern Gothic, Fear Daily is your window into the dark corners of our world. Follow Fear Daily today on your favorite podcatcher to receive new episodes Monday through Friday each and every week.